I used to run ads all over the country for my shows. I have to self-promote. Within seconds, everything flipped over on its back overnight. You sick freaks, you stay away from our kids. I used to get pictures of guns sent to my inbox saying, can't wait to use you for target practice. And it was every single day.
Hey you, it's Ebony with We Are Ideas, and today is a little bit of a departure from the lessons around event planning and program management and training new leaders for nonprofit and social impact companies. Part of the work will be introducing community to each other and communities to new ideas, new people, new concepts, ways that allow for more curiosity, more questions. And so today I want you to meet Nicole Halliwell. She is an incredible entertainer, been doing work for over 20 years globally with brands like MAC and movies like Hocus Pocus. And she's just an incredible entertainer and has done so for such a long time, as I mentioned, and she's done so as a drag queen. Unfortunately, politics has taken hold and made even something as simple and fun as drag queens divisive and icky. It's also been really damaging when it comes to business and work, and instilled fear in not only people in different communities, but in this case, within the drag queen community. So I wanted you to meet her, learn more about the work that she does, ask questions, be curious, be courageous. We really want this to be a space for people to share who they are and learn from other people as well. So watch the interview, comment, and then on the other side, we'll respond, answer the questions we can, and get a good dialogue going. Okay, enjoy. Let's bring people together.
Everyone's like, we hate drag queens. And I'm like, I have this luck streak in my life. And people go, don't talk like that. You shouldn't talk like that. You're going to jinx yourself. But it's something that my family has. My father had it. My sister has it. I have it. The best example I could say would be like, you could sweep a room, right, with a broom, and then put it up against the wall, and the broom would just stay there, and you can go on and do your thing. I would sweep the room, put the broom against the wall, the broom would fall, make a huge mark. When the broom hit the ground, it would break a gas main, the thing would spark, and the whole house would blow up. That's my luck, and it's that way with everything in my entire life, and I've tried my best to just kind of circle away from it, but it just no escape, so I just had to learn to adapt to it. But this is part of that thing. Doesn't it figure that the one thing that I have built my entire life, my career, all my investment, everything around is something that people are now targeting. But that's why I say it's comical. I have to laugh at it, because what else am I going to do? I feel like at this point, this is just another obstacle in my life that I have to find a way to get over. I have to find a way to get around it, and that's where the reinvention comes in. It's maybe my destiny is I've done enough in drag now to start producing shows and being behind the scenes. Maybe it's I'm an event producer and manager and handler, where I create and I move the talent and I take care of the business, but I'm not on stage anymore. The magic to my company is that I have a way with people, and not only with the negotiations and building shows, but also with a crowd. I am the formula that glues together the rest of the shows, because in almost everything that I do, I'm the centerpiece, and not for anything other than I know that what I have and my skills mixed with all the incredible, amazing, mind-blowing, breathtakingly talented people that I work with, we are the full equation. I'm the piece of the center of the Trivial Pursuit puzzle, and then there are all the little pieces that go around, and we make one whole thing, and then the game is won. So that's how I've always looked at it, as that I can only do so much with myself. I know I need others to get me there. I work with people that I know deserve to be visible, and I use my fame and my ability and my platform, whatever fame I have, obviously, and not much, but to get those other people where they want to be, and then that all in all fulfills, I guess, the prophecy. So we'll see what happens, but this is where I'm at. It shut down my entire business, and that was it. It went from drag being a part of American pop culture
to within days. These horrific.
Yeah, I lost my Facebook, my Instagram, everything. And Facebook has wisened up to it now. They know now how to determine what's harassment, what's not. They've also surprisingly stepped in and started protecting the LGBTQ culture a little bit more. The fear of dying is scary. The fear of unknown is scary. I understand the purpose of the Bible, but I also understand that I have too many conservative friends who are extreme Christians who pick and choose what applies to them, and they will judge everyone else and persecute everybody else who doesn't live the way that they live. The Bible tells you how to live a good life and be a good person. It doesn't say that you also get to tell other people how to live their lives, because my reality and my truth is not yours. I can never understand your plight as a person of color. I could never understand your grievances with the world and how you perceive things. That's not a place in my brain that could even fathom that. And in that respect, I could either say, it's not my problem, or I could say, I want to know more about you. I want to understand why it is that you feel the world treats you in this way and whether it affects you negatively or positively. And then I want to learn from those experiences and make myself a better person by being able to be diverse and flexible with everybody that I meet. You know, it blows my mind sometimes that people have no humility left in their body, or they don't have any to begin with because their family raised them to be that way. You know, it is a product, we're a product of our upbringing. And I thought, if I live my life in the way that I was raised, not that there was anything wrong, my parents were Catholic. My father was a very strict Italian man who was against gay people, and he was also, I hate to say this, but a little bit of a racist. And it's because his family was a little bit racist. Because they grew up in the time where they didn't want integrated schools. They didn't want, so I had to teach him how to understand. And that was hard because you got, 50, 60 years of embedded thought process. And I thought, I don't ever want to be that. My father, may he rest in peace, was in his last days a different person than when I grew up because he took more time to understand my son is gay. I learned about new worlds, and I met his friends and his partner, and I see things differently now. But it takes exposure and walking in those shoes to do it. It really is disturbing to me to see the things that we see in this world in this day and age. It blows my mind. So it's like blind faith in anything doesn't teach you about life. It teaches you that you just operate under someone else's rules and laws. You can't do that. You have to be able to make decisions. Call religion like Chex Mix, because they only pick out the stuff that they want to eat and they leave the rest of it in the bowl. You either follow it all or you don't follow it all. Like if you got married and you had sex before marriage or you were divorced, the townspeople are supposed to drag you to the doorstep of your father's home and stone you to death. That's what's in the Bible. You're still alive. It's like I look at all this stuff from every angle and I try to use it against them. I'm like, you don't understand what you are pointing at me at this moment. You don't understand what you're telling me, but you're gonna, So it's that kind of stuff where I'm just like, the hypocrisy is mind blowing. Yeah. Mind blowing, the hypocrisy, and especially when you confront them with it, and then they get violent. That's another thing with these types of situations. And again, I'm not against religion. I think everybody needs something to believe in. I am not against being truth and to your faith. I'm not against bringing up your family or your children on that particular religion. But I am against if somebody says this is not my life, my purpose. You're not going to tell me how to live my life, and you still continue to. You're going to do this. You're going to be that way. No, not for me.
Tell me what drag means to you now. Like, how does it feel being on stage?
It means a lot of different things, but to just sum it up in brief, because I have rambled, drag to me is release. It's self-expression. It is my outlet to open the floodgates of creativity that are in my head and let all these ideas out. Drag has allowed me to live my dreams. It has allowed me to fulfill the self-expression that I have in a way that I don't think most people could ever fathom. I loved Mean Girls growing up. That was one of my favorite movies. I created a Mean Girls drag show, and the incredible Daniel Franzese, who plays Damien in Mean Girls, worked in my show. He hosted the show for us, and it was amazing. Hundreds of people came to see the show. I got to play Regina George. I was so excited. And there is Daniel Franzese from Mean Girls on stage with us. It was incredible. But I don't think I could have ever had that happen if I didn't force myself to go do these things and create these shows and make this stuff happen. I'm sure you have something like that in your life for you. There's a movie or a moment or a music video where you're like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way in life. This room that I'm sitting in is proof that I have had a chance to create my dream and experience it and live it. Every wig, everything in this room tells a story.
Yeah.
And it's all part of the existence that I made for myself, which I'm getting emotional now because it's like, as a little kid, when you're alone and you don't understand life and why you do the things you do, and I mean, I didn't know I was gay when I was a kid. I just knew I liked boys, and I didn't know why. I thought I was broken, and I had nothing. I was afraid to talk to my family. I forced myself to date girls. I forced myself to be something that I wasn't, and I thought, I can't live in this existence. I can't. Sorry. I can't not be myself. What do I do? And then drag gave me a way out. There were some low times in my life, and it got me through. All the rage that I felt, breakups, losing a job, I took it out on stage, and that saved me. Everything that I do is for a greater purpose. Sometimes it never gets fulfilled, but I try. And I'm grateful that you are even interested in hearing my story, because, you know, I'll sit in this room and I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's a loneliness sometimes where I think I'm here and I'm not being productive to anybody else. I'm just by myself, and here's another show. Mm-hmm. But, you know, when you called me and you're like, hey, let's talk about you, and I was like, really?
Of course. Of course. What is most exciting to you when you look around your space here? Anything in particular? I mean, can you name one thing?
I can name a feeling.
Tell me.
I'm a collector. Mm-hmm. In the other room, I have huge cabinets full of pop culture memorabilia that I love. Mm-hmm. And being surrounded by things that bring me joy is an escape. Mm-hmm. So when I walk in this room and I look at all these wigs and these costumes and all this stuff I have around me, this is like...
super exciting.
It's super exciting to me. I think it's like the feeling when you look at Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Which is... Oh, that's another thing. As a kid, all my friends were out riding bikes, climbing trees. Mm-hmm. I was 12 years old on a ladder stapling lights to my house because I wanted the biggest, brightest house in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. I was so inspired. I had a commercial decorator that lived across the street from me, and he would deck that house up top to bottom, mm-hmm. window displays and lights. Mm-hmm. So that's another product of my outward creativity and expression, is my house for Christmas. When I walk out my front door at any given point in December and people are standing outside with wine glasses looking at my house, that's creative expression for me. That's another outlet that I have. So it's like that. It's looking at Christmas lights. This is my year-round Christmas lights. If that makes sense.
Talk to me about the, I see here you have a MAC Paint Like a Queen.
That was
you
awesome.
Look incredible.
Well, thanks to the amazing photographer that captured and then carefully grazed over that image. I started doing makeup classes in late 2017, I think it was, and I did it out of the need of people come up to me after shows and they would go, "Your makeup is so great." And by the way, the makeup that it does not take me 2 hours to do my eyebrows. I'm just chatting with you. The makeup that I have on for shows, depending on where the show is sometimes pretty great, and sometimes it's fast, but still, for someone that does not do makeup very often, I am, up on a pedestal for some of those people. So they would go, "Your makeup's so great, your makeup's so great. We want to learn how to do makeup like you." So I had started a makeup class at a local makeup store, And all these women kept showing up going, I want to learn eyeliner. I want to learn lashes and shadow and contour and stuff. And I was empowering all these people to feel better about themselves. Everything from cancer patients who had lost their eyebrows and their hair, and I was teaching them about wigs and helping them shop online for them. And, so I started building this rapport. There's a misconception that drag is a mockery of women, and it's not. And I can see how they could come to that conclusion. But we're inspiring to women because we're the Barbie dolls that they always wanted. That we're the life-size dress-up characters that they wanted to play with. Do you have siblings? Any of your siblings, did you dress them up as kids? And you wanted to put them in and do their makeup and their hair?
Never let me do that.
See?
God, that would have been so cool.
See? But that's what we are to women that come to the classes. They're like, oh, you're a Barbie doll. Yeah. You wear jewelry that's this big and costumes, and we love you. So I thought, there's something to this. I could make a living teaching makeup. I could do classes. So when the pandemic happened and everything stopped, I was doing online classes for makeup, and then we started to reopen again, and an opportunity came to be. A friend of mine who works at MAC in the region was like, I saw you do makeup classes. And why don't you take your Paint Like a Queen class and run it through the MAC filter? And I went, that's a dream. I've always wanted to work for MAC. That's great. Obviously, it's not on a national scale, but we created an awesome campaign. We got approval from MAC's regional and with Macy's, which we paired with. And I taught classes in a mall, in an actual shopping mall. And women came and learned contour and makeup and classes, and they bought the brushes they needed. We showed them how to shop for makeup. And it was amazing. And that was a great experience. And then the pandemic had a second strike, and we had to stop the classes. But I'm going to bring that back again because that, to me, is a crowning achievement of working for MAC.
I've seen your live shows, and they
I'm sorry.
are...
I'm kidding.
When I say fantastic, raunchy is such a... I feel like raunchy's gotten a bad rap.
It's subjective. Raunchy is very subjective.
It's not meant for 14-year-olds. I'm not sure.
Well, thankfully I don't have any...
off on a rant here for a second.
Thankfully I don't have any 14-years in my
That's
show.
what I'm saying. Like, kids aren't in bars.
No, they're not.
They're not. And I'll also say, I don't know if it depends on the generation, but remember Quantum Leap?
Yes.
Scott Bakula, like the whole thing.
I like that show.
It came on past my bedtime. And I remember my dad letting me stay up I think it came on Thursday night. My dad letting me stay up to watch it. And then Boomerang came on with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, no.
And Holly Berry.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, well, you have to go to bed now. You can't watch this. And of course I went to bed. But I remember when this drag queen thing came, I remember that, thinking about that memory, and you would send your kids to bed. You wouldn't let your kids be around something that, for whatever reason, you thought was inappropriate for their age. And I have to say, when I first saw you in action at a bar in our neck of the woods, and it was gloriously raunchy. I mean, just hilarious and appropriate for our age, and ready to let loose. It sort of taps into something that I think is creative and fun and smart. I just love it. I love every bit of it.
I grew up on classic comedy, on the greats. When you look at Lucille Ball, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., all of those people were a part of my life and my upbringing because my father was a comedian, and for him. And the amount of comedy that I experienced in his orbit, as well as watching those things and growing up on those things, and that's all I ever saw, was that I learned how to adapt myself to audiences, so I could take the jokes that were classic jokes and turn them into something that was more appropriate for our generation of people. And that was something that has been my strong suit all along. You know, I can do.
Not you being inspired by Sammy Davis Jr. and.
Don't start. Flip Wilson. No, comedy is comedy is comedy is comedy. Period. There, and I get that a lot. People go, "How do you know Sammy Davis Jr.?
Yeah.
How do you know?" I know comedians that were obscure, but to people in my mom's age group in the 60s and 70s, they're blown away. Like, just like I impersonate Bette Midler. They're like, "How do you? That's not even your thing. Like, it's not your generation. It's not your." But it was, and that's all I knew. That's what I was raised upon. That's how I grew up on that. So my ability to know comedy for every generation is great, and then my adaptability to flex it between audiences comes from my father.